Most of the footage in this video is actually from The Last Samurai, and The Last Samurai is definitely not, something I produced. Definitely not. It's by a studio known as Warner Brothers. I'm hoping it is them actually, and hoping it is Warner Brothers. And of course, if you hear some harmony, some emotional harmony, some instrumental masterpiece soundtrack at any point in the video, I'm gonna have to give the credit to a little known composer known as Hans Zimmer. So these good guys should check out his stuff. So this video is another video as part of the Manly Tears playlist. I'm pretty excited to do another video as part of the Manly Tears playlist, and this one is a personal favorite of mine. It's Manly Tears, The Last Samurai, in which I'm going to take a scene from The Last Samurai, a heartbreaking scene that'll make you cry. Well, hopefully it will, and hoping it makes the most manliest man shed a tear. And if it's not, well, you're a samurai or a freaking ninja or something. You've had training so that you can't cry. Good job, buddy. So before I go into this video will contain a lot of spoilers. And obviously, if you haven't seen this film, that means that this scene will mean nothing to you. And you will probably definitely not cry. And you won't shed a single tear, because you'll be like, what the hell is going on? What am I watching? What is this nonsense? I'm not even shedding a tear. If you haven't seen this film, I'd say go ahead, watch the film first. And then you're like, oh man, that film was so emotional. And then come back and check out this video. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the actual story of the actual movie. And then I'm going to go into the emotions of the movie and yada yada yada. Okay, so the main theme of this story is the idea of Americanization, Westernization across the globe. And it's the point of Japan, and Japan is it's going through a change, and a change that's not accepted by all the society of Japan. Some, of course, the empire is kind of pushed into Americanization by the American ambassador and a few of his own people, while the samurai, they want to respect the culture and the tradition of old Japan. So there is this kind of separation. The new Japan, they want to create a force that can deal with these samurai. So this is where Nathan Albrun comes into it, Tom Cruise's character. And Tom Cruise's character is a very interesting character and one of the greatest aspects of the story. He's a soldier who fought in the American-Indian War, and he's a soldier that's quite traumatized by the events of that war. And that's one of the most interesting aspects of the story. And he's given this massive salary to go over to Japan and train all these soldiers how to use rifles and how to use various other firearms. So there is a point in the film where he does actually do battle with the samurais, and it's early enough into the film, and of course the Imperial Japanese Army, they are not ready for this, and they're slaughtered by the samurais. But Kasimodo, who's this well-respected samurai, he sees something in Nathan. He sees something incredible about him. So he brings him back to his son's village, and he wants to learn his enemy. Kind of an art of war kind of thing. And through Nathan's time living with the samurais, he kind of changes his opinion on Japan and how he sees the Americanization and New Japan. It's really interesting in that aspect. So you see his time living with him and his bond with Kasimodo. It's all pretty emotional, and that bromance is coming along because they're having all those conversations, and it's all great stuff. So there is a point, of course, where the Japanese Imperial Force actually become a force of reckoning, and they've become more experienced, more talented foes for the samurai. And of course there's this massive slash in the end of the film, and it's so freaking iconic and so freaking awesome. So the scene I will be talking about is the scene in which it's kind of their last kind of attack, the samurais, their last all-out attack on the Japanese forces, the Japanese army, and it's their last attempt of maybe succeeding in this. And it's an incredible scene because even from the get-go, my boy Hans, he's bringing the emotion. He's bringing the emotion train with that music. And I mean, it's such a badass moment as well, because you're getting swords and slashes and horses trampling guys. It's all freaking awesome, and there's cannons going off and there's freaking rifles going off. All of it is freaking awesome. But then emotion happens. That's when they actually start firing a freaking minigun. Like I say, these samurais, they can take a lot of damage. I mean, samurais, they're like freaking cockroaches. I mean, they can they can take a lot of damage, but they're getting mowed down. They're getting freaking mowed down. And it's pretty emotional, and it's really emotional. And it's just like, oh man, this is so freaking sad. This is like, oh man, the emotion. And then Kasamoto, he gets shot up. He gets shot up bad. I mean, he gets pretty fucked up. And it's just like, oh man. And Hans Zimmer, he's playing into it. He's playing into this guy's day. He's just like, this is my cue, guys. This is my cue to add all the emotion. This is my cue to add in manly tears to men who's watching this. This is my cue. And then Nathan gets shot up, and like Kasamoto, he wants to die with honor because, you know, he's a traditionalist and he wants to die with honor, and he wants to kind of gut himself up because, you know, it's honorable, you know, stab yourself in the stomach. It's samurai culture, and he doesn't have the strength to do it. So like Nathan actually helps him up. You know, he helps him, and he's just like, I will miss conversations. But, you know, he does it in a way that I can't do it, in a way that someone with Tom and Cruise can do. And he says it because, you know, conversations are a way in which people communicate. And then, of course, he stabs him. It's like, oh, super emotional. And Kasamoto is just like, perfect. They are all perfect. And then he's just like, and he just dies. And his last shot is like these shots of like blossom trees or something like that, because earlier in the film he's just like, he's trying to write this poem but he can't come up with an ending for the poem, and then all of a sudden he comes up with an ending for his poem, and the ending of course is that line, they're all perfect. It's super emotional. And then of course all the soldiers on the opposing side, they feel super bad. They're just like, damn, we killed a lot of badasses here. And we killed Kasamoto, and he's a freaking badass. They all started crashing down to their knees and getting really emotional. And it's so freaking emotional, because it's just like, oh man, all this emotion, and oh man, Kasamoto. But like, even from this scene that's really emotional, there is an add-on to the scene. There's like a consequences of the scene, where Nathan, he goes to see the Empire, and he's hated by the Empire at this stage. Because, I mean, he fought against his men, and he gives him Kasamoto's sword. He gives it to him, and as soon as like he holds that sword, the Emperor's just like, oh shit, I think I just grew a pair. Because I mean, he's not taking shit from anyone. He's talking to like Herschel's like granddad, American ambassador, and he's just like, yo, you better get out of my country because, you know, Japan's all about tradition and stuff, and you guys are trying to fuck it up. We're trying to throw McDonald's everywhere and Starbucks everywhere. That ain't cool. We're Japanese, yo. It's not cool. And then he's just like super badass, and he's not taking shit from anyone. He's like, no, not anymore. I've got Kasamoto's sword, and I can slash people up if I want to because I'm the Empire, and I can probably get away with that because I got Empire in my title, in my name, Empire. And then there's this scene where he's just like, he talks to Nathan's character, and he's just like, and he's kind of staring really deeply into the sword, and he's just like, tell me how he died. And Nathan kind of looks up to him, and he's kind of really emotional about this. And he's kind of a little teary-eyed, and he's just like, I will tell you how he lived. But of course he done it in a Tom Cruise voice, so imagine me doing it in a Tom Cruise voice. I'll tell you. But it's super emotional. It's heartbreaking. It's the type of moment you have to see to believe. Me just talking about the scene is not enough. You need to check out the movie. It's a great movie. And that's just wrap up for this episode of Manly Tears. And if you have any other suggestions for a movie or a game or a TV show, that would be great for a Manly Theater episode. That'd be good for the playlist. Definitely put that in the comment section. And what do you think of The Last Samurai as a film? And did these two combined scenes did actually make you cry? Or are you a samurai and a ninja that doesn't, you know, have the ability to cry over manly moments like this film? And if you like this video, hopefully you subscribe, and thank you for watching. You guys have been great. I'm going to leave it at that.